When you look at a lot of the old PS1 games and ask the question, does it hold up? The answers can be pretty mixed. But for Castlevania Symphony of the Night, it's a resounding yes. I didn't play this game on the PlayStation 1. I played it in 2013, 16 years after its release, on my Vita. I had heard the game was very good, so I started playing it with high expectations, and actually it far surpassed them. For those that aren't aware, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a 2D side-scrolling action, Metroidvania game. That means exploring an area, in this case Dracula's castle, while obtaining new equipment that opens up additional areas in the game. It's an absolute classic and in my opinion one of the best games ever made. The action is challenging, but the game does a good job of making you feel more and more powerful as you level up and acquire new weapons and abilities. As a fan of Demon Souls and Dark Souls, Symphony of the Night feels like a 2D version of the Souls series, with tough enemies and cautious exploration of new areas. The bosses were well designed and varied, from the giant demons that take up half the screen, to the agile creatures that dart around the screen. The bosses were a lot of fun to fight. Entering a boss room for the first time and seeing an enemy towering above you can be pretty daunting. Some of them took a lot of tries to beat, but there's a great sense of accomplishment to beating that seemingly indestructible giant boss. The story is a continuation of Castlevania Dracula X, or originally called Castlevania Rondo of Blood. I was in the mood to play some old Castlevania games back in 2013, so I played Dracula X and then played Symphony of the Night, not realizing that Symphony of the Night continues the story. The start of Symphony of the Night is the final boss battle from Dracula X, where you play as Richter Belmont. The hero of Symphony of the Night is Alucard, Dracula's son, who is investigating the castle for the missing Richter Belmont. It blew my mind that the game began exactly where Dracula X finished, but that wasn't the only moment in the game that left me astounded. I won't spoil it, but there's an amazing moment in the game where you think that you finished, but actually you realize there's so much left. Being a 2D game with pixel graphics, the graphics still hold up and look excellent even today. The music fits the game perfectly. The voice acting doesn't sound great, but that's a minor complaint when the game is so good. This is one of my top 10 games of all time. All the aspects of the game, the graphics, action, enemies, music work perfectly to create a game that's amazing today as it was all those years ago. Symphony of the Night inspired so many games that have come since and redefined the Castlevania series for many years. If you like games like Guacamelee, Shantae or Axiom Verge on Vita, then this is a must play in my opinion. That's why Castlevania Symphony of the Night is my retro recommendation. If you buy the PSP game Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, you can unlock Symphony of the Night within it. Dracula X isn't as good as Symphony of the Night, it can be frustratingly hard at points, but it's very cool to go through the ending of Dracula X and then jump straight into the beginning of Symphony of the Night. Plus they cost the same on PSN, so it makes sense to get Dracula X and have both games. Just be aware you'll need to play a decent chunk of Dracula X to actually unlock Symphony of the Night. So have you played Symphony of the Night? What did you think about it? Leave a comment and as always, thanks for watching.